So, in this session, we would be discussing some other things like setting of ranges. Now, ideally, you don't need to set a range. The ranges of x and y axis are taken by Bokeh automatically. But if you wish and you want to customize it, you can definitely do it by mentioning the x and the y range separately. So this can be done with the help of range ID function. Okay, for example, I want to define x range. So I have defined x range equal to range ID 0 to 10. That means my x-axis range should be between 0 to 10. So okay, I can do that. And then when I will call the figure, or when I will design parameters for my figure, I can give x underscore range equal to x range. That means I want my x-axis to be ranged like this, and accordingly a customization can be done. Otherwise, you don't need to do that. There is no need to take that pain unless and until you want to really do it for some very specific purpose. So now there's another very advanced stuff that is provided by Bokeh, which is different types of access. So ideally we define three types of access: categorical access. So in categorical, one has to be a categorical variable, okay, not a numerical, a categorical variable. Log scale access. So log scale access are used if there is a power law relationship between x and y. So there are two x and y series, data series, and if there is a power law relationship between them, so then this type of access is viable or should be used ideally. Okay, so you can use log scales on both the axes, or you can use log scale on one of the axes as well. So it normally happens when one of the series is increasing in an exponential manner. So one series, the data of one series is showcased in a linear manner, and the data of another series is it in exponential manner. Then in that cases, log scale is preferable. Then twin axis, we have done this in matplotlib as well, that you can introduce y-axis, two y-axis. Okay, there would be one x-axis and two y-axis. Now this is normally advisable when there are two data series and there's a lot of range difference between the series. For example, one, we took an example in matplotlib, so where I told you that okay, the HDFC bank price was between, going to 1000 as well, and the ICICI was rotating between 300 to 500 and all that stuff. So the scale differences are very large. If you will not take twin axis, what will happen? It would be too much of mess that will be there in the same plot. So it's advisable that two different y-axis are taken. One y-axis will reflect for one data series, other y-axis for the other data series. And obviously the scaling for both the range for both the y-axis would be different, and it is automatically taken by the software, or you can define if you want, as discussed above. So categorical access, so which can plot a categorical variable as well. Okay, but there is a little condition that you need to specify a factor range. We'll discuss later when we'll do the categorical access in detail. Log scale is advisable when one of the series is increasing exponential and the other is linear. And then the twin axis when there are two different data sets and the range is quite different for both of them, then it is advisable that two different y-axis should be used for both the data. So we have done this in Matplotlib as well, the twin axis funda. So let's go ahead with the categorical access as well. So categorical access are introduced when there is one categorical variable and one numerical variable. Okay, so one variable has to be categorical. The only difference is that there is a way out in which that categorical variable has to be taken into consideration. Like for example, this is langs. Langs is my categorical variable which holds value C, C++, Java, Python, PHP. These are the five values it is holding. It's a list basically. So now this is a categorical variable. Langs is a categorical variable because it is not containing any numerical data. It is containing text data. Okay, it is containing strings. So therefore, it's not a numerical data. It's a string data. It's a categorical data. Okay, so now what I will do here is, so when I will call my figure function, so fig equal to figure, I will say x underscore range equal to langs. That means I have to specifically tell the function that one of my data or one of my data variable is string in nature or it is categorical in nature. So this is the way it is done, x underscore range equal to langs. Now I have used x underscore range because I believe for the timing and assuming that this data would be used as a for x-axis. So that's my assumption that this data which I have mentioned here, it is used as a string for x-axis. So since it is used for x-axis, so I have given x underscore range equal to length. Okay, telling the function that I am assigning a categorical variable. That is how you need to proceed if you want to go for categorical axis. Categorical axis means on the x-axis I want to introduce the categorical variables, not the numerical points, the categorical points. So for example, if this is the scenario, I want to plot a bar with the help of categorical data. So this is my categorical variable. This is my numerical variable. Okay. So on the x-axis, I want the categories to be placed. If I want categories to be placed on the x-axis, then I have to define x underscore range equal to length. So this will tell my function that when you will draw my figure, my x-axis should be as per my categorical variable, not my numerical variable. Okay. And then finally, I will call v bar because I want a vertical bar. We have discussed in the initial sessions. X equal to length here because we are placing a categorical variable, and then top is equal to student. I told you that in vertical bar y is basically recognized as top, so top is equal to student, and width 0.5. Width means the width of these bars. What would be the width of these bars? That you need to specify. So 0.5 width of every bar, and this is the plot that will come to me. Okay, so this is where I have used a categorical axis. X-axis is categorical in nature. Okay, and this is how you need to proceed if you want to go with a categorical data. There is another customization that you can do here. You can color each bar differently. So you have to define colors, whatever colors you want to put. So since I have 5 bars here, so 5 colors I have defined: red, green, orange, navy, and cyan. And once you will prepare a list of colors, then again I will call my vbar function x equal to lan. Now there's an additional parameter that I am mentioning here, which is color equal to calls. So calls is basically nothing, it's a list of all the colors that I have mentioned for every bar. So my first bar would be red in color, my second bar would be green in color, orange, navy, and cyan, and so on. Okay. You can stack the bars as well. Now there's an additional function which Bokeh provides of stacking bar. It can be in the vertical form also, it can be in the horizontal bar form also. So if you are to use a vertical form, then you have to use v bar underscore stack. If it is in horizontal form, then you have to use h bar underscore stack. All right. So if you see the diagram here, they have been stacked above each other. Okay, the same thing you have faced in seaborn plotting as well, and the same type of feature is available uh, in bokeh also. Okay, so again plotting is little different. The way of plotting is little different. In seaborn it was quite a different way out. Here it is quite a different way out. So you have to notice those differences because the parameters are different, the way it is put up is different. So I have mentioned here two things. One is my product, okay, computer, mobile, printer, the three products which I am holding, okay, and then the months, which is January, February, and March. Then sales I have mentioned. Now this is a dictionary. I have in the initial sessions I gave you a short introduction to dictionary list and all that stuff also. So you see curly brackets. Curly bracket means I am talking about dictionary. Dictionary means there is a key value pair. So products is my key, which is holding the products detail. So my products are computer, mobile, printer. Then January is the key, and it is holding the details of my sales, which is 10, 40, and 5. So for computer, the sale is 10. For mobile, the sale is 40. For printer, the sale is 5. And the similarly, there are for February, and similarly, I have defined it for March. So products, January, February, March are my keys, and every key is holding certain value. Okay, this is how it is, how the dictionaries are defined. So that's the beauty of dictionary. In a dictionary, you can combine a lot of things together. You don't need to write multiple commands and multiple things one after the other. Then colors I have defined. Okay, different colors I have defined. Then fig equal to figure. Again, X range is my product because I want to produce a categorical axis. So I have given X range equal to product. and then width and height and other features I have mentioned. Then I will use fig.vbar underscore stack. Now since I want to have a stack bar now, so for stack bar I need to introduce vbar underscore stack months, because I want to have the months detail, which is January, February, March, and x is equal to product, which we already know that we are taking products on the x-axis, and source is sale. Now this is an important parameter. On what basis you want to stack? So you want to stack your product data, your product detail with the sales factor. Okay. So how much were the sales of computer in January? How much were the sales of computer in February? Computers in March. So sources sales. You want to stack on the basis of sales. You in this bar graph you want to showcase what is the sale of my product every month. Okay, sale of mobile every month, sale of computers every month, sale of printers every month. The source is sales. This is the basis on which I want my bars to be stacked. So I have given three parameters here: the months, x-axis, okay, the products, x equal to product, because I want to showcase what is the sale of my product, okay, and then source is equal to sale. This is the basis on which I want my bar to be stacked, and color equal to call, so colors I have already defined, and width equal to zero point 0.5. So that's the width of every bar you want. So you see it has been stacked. Okay, computer sales for the month of January, February, and March, stacked one over the other, stacked one over the other, stacked. This is for printer sales in January, February, and March, stacked one over the other. This is how you can showcase the in the form of vertical bars. Okay, and this is another difference. If you don't want to stack, okay, rather than you want to show it like this, okay, in this way there is no stacking. It's absolute for every month. Computer sales in January, computer sales in February, computer sales in March, and so on for mobile and so on for printer. So again, this much data is exactly same. There is no change in this data, but then there is a vbar function that I have introduced thrice. So for computer I have to introduce once, then to showcase the sales of mobile I have to use this function again, then to showcase the sales of printer I have to use this function again. So vbar function has been used thrice. Once to showcase the sales of January, second to showcase the sales of sorry, once the vbar has been used to showcase the sales of computer in January, February, and March. Then again, vbar function has been used to showcase the sales of mobile in the month of January, February, and March. And similarly, the third time, the vbar has again being introduced to showcase the sales of printer in the month of January, February, and March. Okay, so three times I have to use the vbar function. Every time it is for different product. First time the function is for computer, the other time it is for mobile, and the third time it is for the printer. I have used a dodge function here. Okay, since I don't want it to stack like this, okay, or show like this, so I have done it like this. So dodge products, again this is my underlying base, okay, and 0.25, this is basically the gap between each group of bar. You can see that between every bar there's a gap, so this is the gap which I have mentioned. Okay, how much gap I want. The range equal to fig dot x range. Okay, then top is equal to January. I want to start with this is basically we'll do it for January, then this is for February, then this is for March. Okay, so a lot of theory stuff in this session. We would apply all this stuff on our interface, and let's see how this entire functioning works. For this session, thank you so much, and keep plotting.